Good evening. For this video I'm going to speak about the legacy of George Graham. Now George Graham had, as a player, played at different clubs, mostly in England, including Villa, Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United. But for this video I'm going to focus on his managerial career, especially at Arsenal. Now he retired in '78 and in 1982 he had his first job with Millwall. And he did have success there, avoiding relegation and winning. And also, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he led Mill to promotion to the second division, and then after he left the club in '86, they were going to win promotion to the first division eventually. First division after, of course, being promoted to second division, but that's another story for another day. But what I want to focus on is on George Graham's time at Arsenal, because that's what he was there for. He was there for about not his. Start this again. George Graham is Arsenal's second greatest ever manager after Arsene Wenger, which is expected because Arsene Wenger was at Arsenal for 22 years compared to George Graham's 98 years at Arsenal. So that's not a surprise there. But George Graham did have success with Arsenal. He won 2 league titles, 2 league cups, a European Cup Winners' Cup. So, yeah, I mean, George Graham is certainly a legend, and who is well loved, especially by the fans who had the privilege of supporting Arsenal at that time, who were alive to see the Arsenal win the Cup Winners' Cup in '94 against Parma. So there was a certain philosophy that George Graham had. His playing style, his footballing style of management, and how he wanted his teams to play. They were very defensive, and he wasn't the most attack-minded manager. And for a neutral fan, and for some Arsenal fans, that is quite boring. You want your team to be exciting, not boring. And so, according to stats, between 1986 to 87 season and 91 and 92 season, Arsenal averaged 66 league goals a season, scoring 81 in 91 to 92. But between 92 to 92 and 3 season to the 94 and 5 season, only averaged 48 goals, which included 40 in the 92 and 93 season, where the club finished 10th in the inaugural Premier League season, scoring fewer than any other team in the division. So, George Graham has his skeptics, but despite the success he had at Arsenal, the Scottish manager certainly had a standard way of playing, which didn't provide the most entertaining spectacle for fans, especially some at the club. I mean, I'm sure if they were winning, then constantly, then it wouldn't be an issue. But because at times they finished 10th at one point, it certainly didn't. It certainly didn't help his case of being in that discussion of being one of the greatest managers in English football, in British football. So, yeah, no question about that. Yeah, I mean, he certainly did what he could with Arsenal, did what he did. He signed world-class players, including David Seaman, and most notably Ian Wright, who's one of Arsenal's best strikers ever. He had world-class players under him: Tony Adams, Nigel Winterburn, Lee Dixon, and yeah, those are the Arsenal legends who we see on TV now as pundits who were playing under him at the time for Arsenal Football Club. And so, therefore, there's a lot of things that we can be grateful for to George Graham, including the moment where we won the league title at Anfield, beating Liverpool in the 1988 to 1989 season, where we clinched the title by beating Liverpool 2-0. Michael Thomas with the famous strike. And was it Alan Smith? I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, Michael Thomas scored the second goal. Then we end up winning the game. It was a great moment. Unfortunately, despite the success that George Graham had with Arsenal, his reign as Arsenal manager, would come to an end due to a scandal regarding an illegal payment from an agent called Rune Hug, which involved the transfers of John Jensen and Pat Lyderson, who were both clients of Hug. And George Graham went against football ethics and took an illegal payment of 425 grand, and eventually lost him his job. He was banned for a year by the Football Association for his partaking in the scandal, and he confessed that he received a unsolicited gift from the agent, and it was unfortunate because at that time it tainted his achievements that he had at Arsenal. But because he made that mistake, his legacy at that time was in ruins, in tatters. He did manage to go. He did manage on after that with Leeds, and the same philosophy of first prioritising the defence. But he brought in players, despite the lack of goals that the teams that he managed was scoring. For example, at Leeds, they were lacking goals because of his defensive tactics that he would that he would make his team play in, that he would center his team around. But he did buy in some exciting players, most notably Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. He was a Premier League legendary striker. And eventually, in the 98 season under George Graham, they finished 5th in the Premier League, and they qualified for the Europa League, which was a massive step up from where they finished before, which was 11th. So, yeah, he certainly, despite his defensive negativity, as a lot of people this day and age will call it, he'd have success. Ironically, he'll win his last trophy as a manager at Tottenham Hotspur when he went there after finishing off his 2 years at Leeds. He won the 1999 League Cup final with David Ginola playing under him, Sol Campbell playing under him. So, despite him being remembered as a negative manager, he did have success In some ways, some people will compare him with Jose Mourinho, who is seen as very defensive, very negative, very anti-football, but he does have trophies on his resume, similar to George Graham. I mean, a lot of people have said that he's the better version of George Graham, Jose Mourinho, and I think as fans we should appreciate these type of managers who may not be the most exciting philosophy in terms of their football philosophy, but they certainly have that respect because of the trophies they won at their clubs. And at his club, George Graham, he certainly has a good resume of trophies, most notably with Arsenal, and then of course with Tottenham Hotspur. And so, unfortunately, the illegal payment that he took from the agent kind of ruined a good exit for him from Arsenal if he was gonna leave anyway. But I'm sure in this day and age we kind of see him as a legend.